What is a macro? A macro is, simply put, just automating a series of actions or exercises, and it makes your life a whole lot easier. At first, it's not going to make your life easier because you have to learn it. Learning it is not hard. So I'm going to show you how to become a master of macros. I'm kidding. Not that you're not going to become a master, but you're going to become a little better than what you are right now, which is pretty sad, isn't it? It's okay. We all have a moment in our life where we're just really terrible at something. And I've been terrible at macros myself, but now I'm not. So click on View, and this is the View tab. Far on the right is Macros. Select Record Macro, but I will draw your attention to these other two, View Macros and Use Relative References. I'll explain those in a moment. Recording macro. Give it a name. Give it a good name. I am a macro. Something that you will remember, something descriptive that tells you what it does. You also have a description down here. We'll come to that in a second, but if you want to give it a shortcut key, choose something that doesn't overwrite a default action, like Control P for pasting. You don't want to make it Control P. You can choose to store it in a personal macro workbook, a new workbook, or this workbook, and we're going to do this workbook. Descriptions are very important. You always want to have a description. If you come back and you run this macro and you don't know what it does, it could end up deleting a whole bunch of data that you can't get back. It's frightening. So always use a description. And we're going to skip the description right now, but we have the macro recording. On the left side of your screen, I want to draw your attention to what's actually happening behind the scenes. This is the code, VBA if you want to call it that, and the thing here is you have to go through a series of actions to set up your VBA editor and this developer tab right here, which also gives you access to macros, by the way, if you'll see that right there. So you can do that if you want to. I'll show you real quick. You go to File, you go to Options, and then you go to Customize Ribbon. In Customize Ribbon, it would show you the developer mode would be over here, and you can simply check the box and there it is. Alright, we're still recording. So you see this every time I select a cell, it changes. If I select a group of cells, it changes to that. But what we want to do is we want to add a simple formula here. We want to get the sum of 5 plus 1 plus 4. And there we go, it's 10. Now, in the cell, you'll see the equal sum parentheses B2 colon B4. And magically enough, that's in the VBA editor as well. We selected range B5. It activates it. This isn't stuff that you have to really remember. Just know that it's going on. That's all I'm showing you. You don't have to know anything about this if you don't want to. And then it's going to go and type a formula, equal sum, and these are the relative references that I was talking about earlier. When it says -3, -1, all that, what that really means is it's moving over by 1 column and down by 3 rows. Okay? That's all there is to it. Okay, so we've got our column, we've got our formula here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to copy that data. So it says selection copy, then ActiveSheet.paste. I'll press escape and it says application cut copy mode false. Now our task is done. Isn't that great? You can actually stop the recording now. And I'm just going to delete this data. Or you know what? I'm going to delete certain data. I forgot one part. I should have typed these in at the start, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'll click right here, and I'm going to press Control plus Shift plus N. Hold on. Wrong button. There it goes. Isn't it magic? That's why I picked M for magic. What if I do it right here? It just goes back to the cell. Isn't that amazing? I love it. I love it. It's beautiful. And you know what? You can do just about anything with this. If you get really fancy and you turn on that developer tab and you go into your VBA editor, you can actually edit all this stuff to make it even more complex or less complex. You can get rid of some of these extra selections that really don't do anything. But be careful, because this is uncharted territory. You know, there's a reference for documentation. It'll show you everything you want to know, but if you're new to this, it's kind of difficult to grasp. It takes a while, but that's what the community is there for, to help you out. So the last thing to show you is the view macros. You can go back if you want to select it and you want to see what's going on with it. You can actually click edit, and I think that's what actually might bring this up over here for you if you don't have developer enabled. Just, I don't know right off the top of my head. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. If you have any specific questions on how to perform an action through macros, just let me know. Thank you.